I don't usually do field recordings with all this crap on my phone, but I'll demonstrate each of these products so that you can understand how to get your phone set up for recording outside without additional power and without additional memory. The first item I want to talk about is the dock. I have a bunch of stuff plugged into the dock that then goes to the single input USB-C on my phone. So this is the dock, and you can see 3 items that are plugged into it and 1 cord that goes out to my phone. I've labeled the 2 important plugs, one for power and one the output for the phone, because I don't want to have to think when I put this stuff together. This is my battery. It's 5,000 milliamp hours, and that keeps my phone charged. The battery is not required for the dock. The dock works without power. I chose the battery based on its size. I have a clamp on the battery that then screws into my phone cage. I'll cover the phone cage last because I've done a separate video on the whole shebang. I've unplugged the battery. I'll try to figure out where to put this so you can see it. You may be able to see that I've got a tripod screw into my clamp that has a cold shoe clamp, so I can get them both in there. I use clamps on all these because it's convenient. I don't care, I'll say it a few times, I'm sorry. I don't care what brand you get. So I don't recommend this brand of battery. This was the size and power rating that I needed. The clamps are just clamps. They have a tripod socket, so you can mount them this way or this way. And that provides power to the phone if I'm going to be out for hours and hours beyond my usual use of the phone. The next item I have is external memory. Again, I have that clamped on with the same cold shoe. Again, I don't recommend this particular SSD drive, but it fit my needs in terms of size. It's 1 terabyte. You can see it clamps onto here and plugs into there. I also have this 512 gig external memory, which plugs in and is much smaller and doesn't require cabling to get to the phone. Just plug it directly in. Ordinarily, I don't record enough that I need an external drive because my phone's internal memory is sufficient. But I use them anyway, especially this one. I can't tell you how much faster they are transferring from this to my computer rather than my phone to my computer. I believe I have an iMac. I believe my iMac's native USB-C transfer speed is 10 gigabits per second. These things cut the time down incredibly. The speed is wonderful, and it saves me time I don't want to spend waiting on file transfers. I love these devices for the speed. I'm going to unplug the microphone, and I'll cover that in a minute. And now I'm unplugging the dock. I consider audio as important as the video. I'm going to plug the microphone back into the phone. This setup is what I usually use when I'm recording outside. It's actually what I use when I'm recording inside too, but that's a different story. Again, I don't recommend brands. This is a Sennheiser microphone which has a wonderful windscreen on it. I love that windscreen. I wear hearing aids, I have hearing problems, and I detest it when I see somebody who's recorded outside and all I can hear is the wind noise over their voice. Please use wind protection of some kind to cover the wind noise when you're recording outside. Please. As I said, this is what I usually use outside. I have a tabletop tripod, but I use the tabletop tripod as an extender. I record in crowds. I can get a view above the crowd's head. I do a lot of parades, and I can hold the rig up to the level of floats and get close-ups of the people on floats. Some of our parades have horses and riders, and I can hold this up and get a face level view of the rider. But it's not necessary. I've positioned the handles so that they touch this flat surface and the rig will sit by itself without my support. I chose this camera cage because it fits my needs. You can see the brand, but I don't recommend the brand. I recommend choosing a cage that fits your needs. Several brands have a cage that fits a specific brand and model of smartphone. I don't use those because when the smartphone no longer fits my needs, I'm out both the phone and the cage. This one is adjustable and I get to put whatever phone I like in it. As you can see from the Allen screws on the clamp, this is the clamp, I can move the clamp back and forth so that the major advantage is I don't have to clamp the phone centered on the camera and push one of the volume buttons or the on-off button and hold it down. That's one of my aggravations with gimbals, is that to balance it I end up clamping down on one of the phone buttons and it causes problems when I'm trying to work with the phone and record. I'm never in a situation where I'm in unruly crowds, so this point of view doesn't apply to me, but it may apply to you. You have two handles that you can have a firm grip on, a much firmer grip than if you're trying to hold the phone and do a video in what I'll call unruly crowds. So if you're in a situation where you're making videos and there are people trying to interrupt you, having the ability to have those grips on there may help you with your recording. This is the audio from my smartphone with its own microphones, and I'm recording this on a windy morning. This is the audio from my Hollyland Lark microphone attached to my shirt without a windscreen on it. This is the audio from my Hollyland microphone with the windscreen on it. If you're going to be really bare bones about your recording and use only a phone, which I recommend in circumstances where you're going to be really in a crowd and really pushed around, my suggestion is that you use an external mic which provides wind cover. So I bought the Hollyland Lark A1 because it was less expensive than other brands and tiny. This is what you get: two microphones that transmit to the microphone receiver, which plugs into the phone. I carry my iPhone in a plastic case, which you may be able to see here, and fortunately this fits snugly into the and it just turned itself on, as you can see. It fits snugly into the USB-C port on the phone through my connector. You may be able to see the blue dot here. So right now it's transmitting to this, although I'm not using the phone to record the audio here. I'm just using it for demonstration. But again, let me point out, it comes with wind protection so that you can record video with on a windy day without having the horrible sound of the wind blowing in your phone and distracting from whatever you're trying to get on video. You can hold the phone just like you normally do with the receiver plugged into the USB-C connection. The Lark A1 microphones have a magnet. I put the microphone on the outside and the magnet on the inside, and it sticks. I don't know how secure it is in a jostling crowd, but the magnet is remarkably strong, and they're annoying trying to get them back in the box because they attract each other. But I can live with it. Again, I mentioned the brand because it fit my needs. I don't recommend this brand for you because it may not fit your needs for windproof audio recording directly to your phone. Use whatever works for you instead.